Young Leaper.
I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. All legit, no counterfeit. Don't believe me, go and ask your bitch. I'ma treat the hoe like a Huffy bike and had her leaning like activists. 2 and 3, some savages. Niggas know who Young Lavish is. I'ma do it like Nike. That's why you niggas can't stand the kid. 2 and 3 be the click, bitch. JZS my other brother. I can get the shit from the block, boy. I don't fuck around with you other suckers. Hype came like a lightsaber. My autograph and her vibrator. I'm shaking shit. I shake the bitch. I hate the bitch like an hour later, I shake the bitch, I hate the bitch like an hour later, I shake the bitch, I hate the bitch like an hour later. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy.
I might pull up on your block, whipping and hit me, gripping and send me. I'm on one cause I've been sipping some Remy. These bitches wanna chew because that pimpin' is in me. It ain't on me and I ain't never been no phony. If I can't get no money with you, then we can't be homies. Ran a few racks up, had to get it by my lonely. I didn't hit it before, now shorty wanna give me some more like Buster. Damn, that ass shake like jam, that's why I call her Smucker. She just call me daddy every single time I fuck her. Get up in that box and hit it hard, it might rupture. Now she soaking wet and then she wanted me to ass fuck her. After I eat that pussy up just like the last supper. I shown so much love, now I don't feel the hate. Yo nigga rap cool, but he's still a fake. I came about the mud and start dealing weight. Now I'm invested in stocks and real estate. My bitch gon' ride for me even if the wheels are break. I be killing shit from the wilderness like a wildebeest. If it's a play to make it, I'ma be smashing up quickly. You hit my line, then I decline when I'm bagging up 50s. Easy.
He always do it big, you know who it is. B-Eazy, 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 that dude. He on his way to the top and he ain't about to stop. You thought he would flop and didn't wanna give him props. The things you dreaming about he already did, dude. Now it's time to soak a game he about to give you. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to tune in when he goes live. Make a contribution if you feeling the content. Tap into the realness if you tired of the nonsense. I mean, no disrespect, ain't trying to sound rude, but the world already knows that B-Eazy's that dude. Ooh.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy, that dude, an impromptu stream back with another one. This one is gonna be a banger. I won't be here for a long time, but it will be a doozy. Now, I don't like to keep y'all waiting, especially on the late night. So before we get this thing started, you You know, I gotta hit you.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民
Hey,
と言っても自分
さすがです。もう友達できたの？
うん
yo, yo,
ぶったまんまこっち見ない方がいいかな
no, never been a regular. None of your competitors. Niggas better catch up like 10 steps ahead. Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting modo. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy, that dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji, eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really in me. My pimp game international, I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of better.
And we are activated, and we gonna get right into this thing. And it looks like I've been joined by an illustrious guest. Shout out to the East Coast fam, New York, Nassau County. But hey, where Brooklyn at? So Roger Meadow says, I was just cheesing it up until the popo gave a ticket for jaywalking. 6 cop cars pulled up on me like, dude, you just made me miss my bus. Anyway, I got to see a picture of the only pic of my paternal granddad 9 years after my dad passed. Picture was taken the year my dad was born in 1927. Both my granddads only got one picture. Mom also found some pictures of dad at 6, toddler, and infant. So that's a beautiful thing, bruh. So, hold on, Roger. I actually got breaking news. I got footage of Roger Meadows looking at the picture of his long lost grandpappy. Salute to Roger Meadows. Those was all tears of joy. And we've been joined by an illustrious guest. Last call, Mr. Midnight Soul himself. He is in here chatting from an undisclosed location, possibly on the East Coast. Hey, Roger, I know it's all tears of joy, my brother, tears of joy. But we gonna get right into this thing. Bada boom, bada bing. Now, before I touch on the topics, y'all seen the title, y'all seen the thumbnail, but what I want to do is I want to talk about gratitude. Right now, I've reached a milestone of 900 subscribers. So salute to me and salute to y'all. I couldn't have done it without y'all. Now, I know in the grand scale of YouTube and the content creators, 900 subscribers is, a drop in the bucket on this virtual world, or the World Wide Web, should I say. But 900 subscribers is a milestone that I'm proud of, because, if you won't embrace and cherish the little things, I think it makes it harder to appreciate some of the bigger things, and when things just get handed to you. So let's just talk about a little bit of why practicing gratitude for small things isn't just about being polite or positive. It has profound psychological, physical, social, and spiritual benefits that transform your life and relationships. So we want to be giving gratitude. So yes, I am proud to have 900 subs, but I'm more proud to have people that respect me, that believe in me, and that find value in my content, because I find value in my subscribers. You can learn from a baby. So not only am I here to teach, I'm also here to learn. I'm soaking up game from y'all while I'm conveying and bestowing game. It is a cycle in a circle of intellectual trust and cohesion, right? So here are some of the key reasons why we should show gratitude even for the small things, right? One, it rewires your brain for happiness. And this is the science. Your brain has an inherent negativity bias. It notices threats, problems more than positives, i.e., if you want to look at something on Amazon, right, it can have 4.9 stars, right? 4.9 stars out of 5. Are you going to focus on those 4.9 stars, or are you going to focus on the negative comments? The positive comments hit and you say thank you, but the negative comments hit a little bit harder because people have a negativity bias. Unfortunately, if someone says so-and-so graduated college, they had a master's, they donated, they did all sorts of philanthropy, they're like, yeah, that's cool. Thumbs up, buddy. But when it's so-and-so was accused of a crime, so-and-so was accused of assaulting someone, then suddenly people's antennas go up, and then they want to start spreading the rumors. They want to start researching. They start sharing it. They start creating content about it, because it's a negativity bias. When people are being positive and people are being very enlightening, it's considered boring because they want somebody to be yelling at another person, calling someone out of their name. But then these same people will turn around and complain about the conditions that they helped facilitate, that they helped promote. What about black on black crime? Nigga, you was in the hood doing a bunch of that crime. So who are you to be saying what about it? Okay, fine. What about it? What have you done to eliminate, eradicate, or at the very least mitigate the issues that you're complaining about? Most of the times people don't, but they have a negativity bias towards it. They're gravitated towards it, but usually it's for entertainment, intrigue, and enamoring purposes, right? They're not really wanting to do anything about the negativity, just bask in it, right? So gratitude practice literally rewires the neural pathways. It creates a new habit of noticing good things. So when you're in the mall, most of the times, and you'll see the tropes of women like, man, look at her, this bitch don't even got her nails done. And oh my God, look at this B-I-Y-Y-Yach with the crooked wig, right? Or what if they said, oh my God, look at her skin is glowing, right? Or instead of noticing that her nails, maybe looking a little bit ashy, maybe a little bit crusty, she may have on a stylish shirt. How about you recognize that? That will create a rewiring of the brain so that you're not automatically seeing someone and want to just say the most negative thing. So not only does it rewire the brain for happiness, it increases the production of dopamine and serotonin, which is almost like you're shrooming or you're doing some feel good paraphernalia, right? So the result is you will become more naturally optimistic. You see opportunities instead of obstacles. You experience more joy in daily life. You break cycles of always wanting more. And right now we're talking about why it's so important to have gratitude for the smallest things. I got 900 subs. That's, it's like a crumb, but for me, it's like a whole cake. And we've been joined by an illustrious guest, Girl Dad Cooking Up Deliciousness. If you haven't subbed to this channel, go over there, but make sure that, you drunk a tall glass of water and you already ate, because your mouth may be watering and you may be savoring some of that deliciousness and all the goodness that Mr. Girl Dad is cooking up. And we've also been joined by none other than Sincere Saida in the building. She said it's done on this app as well. If you are perceived as squeaky clean, they'll do whatever, including to lie and tarnish your character and persona. Yeah, and this is what I'm speaking about, the negativity bias. If someone is looking at a sincere man, maybe she's an honorable and an honest person. Some people say, nah, she really ain't that honest. And then they'll start calling her out of her name rather than addressing her as a woman. They have to call her a B-I-Y-Y-Y, you know what I mean? Or some other 4-letter words or colorful language. But it's like, why? What does she do to you? You don't even know her. And I'm just using her as an example to make a broader point. But that's why they say misery loves company. But you know what else loves company? Positivity loves company. But you're so focused on the misery, you want to go to the miserable party when the positivity party is popping. It's way more cracking, right? It's up all night like Too Short, but you're focused on the misery company, and you are what you attract. So if you're, being a very sulky person in a sunken place, what do you think the people around you are you going to be, right? If you hang with eagles, you're going to fly. You hang with chickens, you're going to cluck. If you're in the chicken coop looking around and you're feeling miserable because you're a chicken around other chickens, don't get mad at the eagles for soaring high, right? You need to figure out, hey, how could I improve my life as a chicken? Maybe, not everyone could be an eagle. Not everyone is meant to be an eagle, but chickens do serve a specific purpose. So I think people need to embrace what they really are, right? Not everybody is going to be a millionaire. Not everybody is going to make it to the league. Not every guy is going to be 6 feet. Not every chick is going to be able to wear a size 0, right? But you still have value as a human, and your value doesn't come from tearing other people down. And oh, snap, it looks like we got a new sub, Crown City. Salute. Hey, in Crown City, where exactly are you from in terms of the Crown City? But I appreciate the sub coming in, showing love. Salute to Crown City. And like Sincere says, fly like an eagle. Now, eagles are meant to fly. Chickens are not meant to fly. And there's nothing wrong with chickens, right? Because I'm sure people love eggs, whether it be hard-boiled eggs, deviled, etc. But they serve different purposes. And you don't, as well as an eagle doesn't need to be brought down to a chicken's level, a chicken level doesn't need to be brought up to an eagle's level, because you're going to try to bring the chicken up, and guess what? They're going to crash and burn, because not everyone is built like that. And that's okay. You know what I mean? There's a reason why they have different positions on the team, right? Not everyone can lead the team. Not everyone has the fortitude to be a quarterback, but not everyone has the agility or the strength to be a running back. Not everyone has the girth and the gargantuan size to be a lineman, right? But we all work as a cohesive unit of being grateful, right? The eagle should be grateful for the chicken, right? Because the eagle, unfortunately, sometimes comes and steals the chicken egg. So they're grateful for the chicken, right? And then, sometimes the chicken, like, you know what? I didn't want to take care of all those eggs anyway. So they were probably grateful for the eagle taking some of those eggs. This is the cycle of nature. You know what I mean? So let's get back into it, right? It improves mental health. And once again, we're talking about gratitude. And this is just the preface before I get into the discussion, because I did just want to show love to my supporters, especially the ones that came here tonight. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. So the benefits is it reduces depression and anxiety, lowers stress levels, increases resilience during difficult times, improves self-esteem, reduces toxic emotions, i.e. envy, resentment, regret. And shout out to Sincere Saida. I think there are a lot of creators that do envy you and they do resent you because you create content and don't give a flying fig Newton about what other people got to say. Then you are able to keep an audience intrigued. You know how you'll recap the ongoings in the sector, which is why I called you the overseer. I know you hate that, but you get what I'm saying, right? But a reporter of the sector, right? And you can do it without pulling up other people's content. It's just you talking and popping it like that. Same thing with me, right? I've shown my pictures many times. I've cammed up multiple times, but some people, they be on cam all the time and they still can't, you know, do the numbers that I'm doing, which is not even a lot. They still can't get the subs that I'm getting, which is not even a lot. So, and they still envy me, but it's like, damn, man, like instead of creating better content for yourself, you want to hate on me, but having gratitude will help reduce that stuff. Why don't you think that, what, hey, B-Eazy, he actually does make some great content. Let me collaborate with him, or let me figure out how I can be a little bit more eloquent or articulate with my delivery. And maybe there's something that I don't know how to do on the technical aspect, um, that you can help me with. You know what I mean? I don't know everything. I'm here to learn and I'm here to teach, you know what I mean? Simultaneously, right? You can't feel grateful and bitter simultaneously, right? I can't be saying, hey, man, I love you, but at the same time hating on you and praying for your downfall. Where they do that at? I guess on YouTube in various sectors, right? So this also shifts the focus from what's missing to what's present. It creates perspectives on problems and reminds you that things aren't all bad, right? And this is why we need to show gratitude for even the tiniest of things. It also enhances your physical health. And these are documented effects. Don't take my word for it, because this is not medical advice. Do your own research. I've took the liberty of doing it for you. But like I said, don't take my word for it. So these are the documented effects of having gratitude and how it will shift your mindset, which will lead to a shift in your health outcomes. It promotes better sleep quality, will help you have a stronger immune system, lower blood pressure, reduce physical pain. You'll have more energy and vitality. A lot of people got these Twitter and YouTube fingers, so you're typing so quick. Maybe those fingers could be put to use somewhere else. Maybe they can be put in some sort of ooey gooey slippery orifice of your choice and of your partner's choice, rather than punching on the screen all the time. Maybe that will help you get this climatic orgasmic release that people been craving for, and you won't have to get it from strangers on YouTube. And it will help you have a longer life expectancy. And we do need to live longer, especially if you have kids. If you don't want to be here for your kids, just say that. And if you do, then you need to start moving a little bit different, or a lot of bit different, right? Reduce stress equals better physical health. Grateful people take better care of themselves. You're more likely to exercise, eat well, get checkups. Positive emotions have measurable physical benefits. And mind you, this is documented, right? It also strengthens relationships by showing gratitude. By expressing gratitude, it makes people feel valued. Small acknowledgments build bigger bonds. Thank you for doing the dishes matters, right? Don't just expect someone to do the dishes, right? This person may not want a filthy house, so they're going to take the liberty of doing the dishes. Don't just expect them to do that, right? If you know that you're the man of the house and it's your duty to take out the trash, hey, tell your partner, hey, thanks for taking out the trash, even if it's simple, right? Someone holds the door open for you. Why are you expecting someone to hold the door open for you? Say thank you. If I hold the door open for you 20 times, don't say thank you 4 times. If I held the door open for you 20 times, say thank you 20 times at the very least. Give me 15. 15 out of 20 ain't bad, right? I appreciate you listening, deepens the connection. And I appreciate y'all being here, and I appreciate y'all listening to me, and I listen to y'all as well. People want to be around grateful people. If somebody's stranded on the road and I'm like, damn, I don't want to see people with those 5-point toes, I pull over, swerve to the curb, pick you up. Hey, where you need to go? Drop you off. Hey, man, could you go to the liquor store too? Don't trip, bro. I got you, bro. I drop you off. Then you hop out the car and just run to your door like, okay, bro, where was the thank you? I didn't even ask you for gas money, right? The least you can do is say thank you. So don't take anything for granted, because then people will say stuff too. Maybe it's some weed, you smoke somebody out just because it's like, hey, that's my homie. I don't mind smoking them out. Man, you tripping off that little joint. Nigga, if it was so little, why didn't you have none? You get somebody $20, $50. Man, you tripping off that funky $50. Hold on. When did the $50 get a smell? When I gave it to you, it was crisp. Now when I ask for it back, man, you tripping off a funky 50, nigga. If it's so funky, then give it back. If 50 is such a little amount, 100 is such a little amount, $20 is such a little amount, then give it back. I mean, what's the issue? I think Earthquake said a joke a long time, like, you ever let somebody borrow something and they borrowed it so long that you had to borrow it back? Like, hey, bro, that PS5, you think it's okay if I can borrow it? Let me think about it. Nigga, think about it, nigga. I let you borrow it. I'm trying to be cool. Like, you've passed the threshold, right? So don't take people's kindness for weakness. People value grateful people and people that appreciate even the little things, right? If I don't care if I take you to Applebee's, Fuddruckers, which I don't even know if they still have them, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, and I foot the bill, don't trip. It's on me, right? I already told you I got you. But at the very least, you can say thank you. Don't just look and be like, oh, well, he gonna pick up the tab. Yeah, it's like, bruh, you could at least say thank you. Now, I'm still gonna pay for it, but I'm just saying these are the simple things that you can do to deepen your connection and deepen your friendship. If you're unwilling to even say 2 words, thank you, how much do you really love me? How much do you really support me? I mean, how tight of friends and brothers are we? You can't even say thanks to your brother or to your, someone that, you value their presence. It's a little bit suspect, right? So thanking colleagues improves morale, recognition increases motivation, gratitude creates positive team culture. Bosses who show gratitude get more effort from employees. Now, the principle, people repeat behaviors that are appreciated. When you show gratitude for small acts, people do more of them. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of start it off with that. I'm at 900 subs. It's a little on YouTube, but it is a lot to me. So I appreciate all of y'all who made that possible. You know what I mean? And let me get to the chat and see what y'all talking about before I pull up the story. Oh, it looks like we've been joined by the Florida fam. Sunlight from the Sunshine State, shining brighter than the diamond in the building. Oh, and they coming in hot. We got Snowman. Mr. Snowman, go over there and check him out. This dude has the great radio voice, and he is spot on with his coverage of a litany of sports, whether it be the NCAA women's, NCAA men's, LeBron. Hey, but Snowman, I do have a bone to pick with you, because I think it was about a year or two ago, you came up on my panels and you was talking a little bit greasy about Wembanyama. You said Victor Wembanyama. You said he's not that guy. Don't think I don't remember, Snowman. Salute to Snowman Multimedia, though. And then, of course, we've been joined by Tay-Bay in the building. So we gonna get into this thing. Thank you so much, Sincere. I appreciate that. I try to give people things that will have some replay value. I know a lot of people want to hear some fighting, bickering, me drop some racial epithets and slurs towards people. But you know what? I am just appreciative and grateful for my true supporters. So, I'm not even on that type time right now. So let me go ahead, and I am going to get to the rest of the chat. Oh, you said, make sure you check your DM. There is a certain lady who ain't too happy with you. Oh, Okay, let me check. Okay, Roger, I'm gonna have to pull it up. Damn, you know what, Roger? It's a lot of people that's not happy with me. Some people was mad at me because I was going too hard, standing on lineage business, so they were mad at the delineation movement. Some people are just mad because maybe I took their girl in high school. I'm like, bro, you still tripping? Some people mad they got called an African booty scratcher. So it's a lot of people that hate me. Everybody hates B-Eazy right now, but salute to y'all. And no, and you know what? Salute to you, Sincere. And I always have gratitude for Sincere too. Like she was one of the first people to share me out, and also motivate me to keep going too, because I know she does a lot of impromptu streams. She is also, kind of popping her thing. She rarely hits panels, so I'm always grateful and appreciative when she does hit my panel. So salute to Sincere Saida. Make sure y'all check her out. So we're gonna get right into this thing. Because I'm not gonna be here too long, but it will be a strong time. But I will be back tomorrow though. So in case y'all have been living under a rock, actually, hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me do it like this. So let me give a prelude to this discussion, right? Kanye West, right? Who I call Kanye West, but hey, he is our brother, right? So let's give a quick background. And like Roger said, what he say? Sunlight, where you been? Yeah, Sunlight, where you been? Salute to the Florida fam, no. So Kanye, is he making his redemption tour? Right? Kanye, who now goes by as Ye, is facing backlash over his upcoming and recent concerts, primarily because many people, including Jewish organizations, politicians, sponsors, and critics, believe his 2026 apology in January, where he blamed his anti Semitic remarks on an untreated bipolar disorder and a manic episode. They're claiming that this does not erase the harm caused or prove meaningful change. So they took out a full page Walls. Oh, so actually, Ye took out a full page Wall Street Journal ad on January 26th of this year. He apologized for years of anti-Semitic outbursts, including praise of Adolf, the dude with that thick mustache, and a track titled Heil. Y'all see the rest, right? And I'm just censoring it because on here on YouTube, they're super sensitive about certain names and certain things, right? But y'all can see this is why I pulled it up for y'all. So he he attributed the 4-month manic episode in 2025 involving a psychotic, paranoid, and impulsive behavior that he said destroyed his life. He linked this to an undiagnosed right frontal lobe brain injury from his 2002 car crash, which he says contributed to his bipolar type 1 diagnosis, properly identified in 23. He wrote that he lost touch with reality, expressed deep regret, and said he was now in treatment and committed to accountability. So he is a disabled man. He owned up to his disability, but for some people, that's not good enough. But y'all remember that other disabled dude at the BAFTA? Yeah, the dude with Tourette's who couldn't stop calling people niggers. And he said other slurs too. Remember, he said other stuff, but you don't really know what he said because they beeped it out. But the one thing they didn't beep out, nigger, 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 never. Like he just kept saying it over and over. But fine, it's just a word. Okay, get over it, right? Isn't Kanye saying all of this stuff about the J people? Weren't those just words? Why can't they get over it? So notice they're fixated on anti-Semitism, saying, oh my God, we can't get over his words. But when it comes to black people, they're told, hey, lynching, those weren't just words. Get over it, nigger. Redlining, that wasn't just words. Get over it, nigger. Mass incarceration, Iran Contras, COINTELPRO. These weren't just words, but we're told to just get over it. But suddenly, this specific chosen demographic that's known to wear tiny hats in some instances, they can't get over a song. Okay. Kanye had made a song that said, "How could I be anti-Semitic? I just fucked a Jewish bitch. He's anti-Semitic." But if he said he fucked a black bitch, he's not anti-black. Well, he fucked a black bitch. I mean, he's speaking facts. Well, he's speaking facts. He fucked a Jewish bitch. Like, what's the difference? Oh, you can't call them slurs, epithet, offensive things, because then they become victims. The same people who tell us to not have a victim mindset. So let me get this right. We're supposed to be called nigger and get over it. But if someone gets called a bitch, then stop. They were Jewish. It was anti-Semitic. Okay. So why the concerts are drawing backlash anyways? Because the apology is seen as insufficient by many. Insufficient to who? So critics argue that while bipolar disorder and mania can explain impulsive or delusional behavior, they don't fully excuse or absolve anti-Semitic hate speech. You see, there they go. Anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism. It's like, what about all the anti-black stuff that he said, right? So that basically they're saying that this hatred had real world consequences, and it did. He lost billion-dollar deals with Adidas, Gap, etc. There was widespread condemnation and heightened anti-Semitism concerns. Some mental health advocates found the apology sincere, but others, including those from the chosen community, said it lacks follow through, no sustained outreach, reparations. Huh? So once again, y'all need to stop begging the government. You was never a slave. Why you want some reparations? Okay. Did Kanye making a song called Hell Adolf? How did that make a Jewish person a victim? All you had to do was not listen to the song, right? Y'all was never a slave. Y'all didn't get gassed in the chamber, so they should get reparations because Kanye made a song about Adolf. Where's the people calling them victims and saying that they have a victim mindset and get over it? No one is saying that. Instead, they're saying, you know what? They should be paid reparations. They should be paid reparations because Kanye made a rap song. Okay. So on April 1st and April 3rd, he sold 2 sold out shows. He had featured guests like Lauryn Hill, Travis Scott. But once again, you keep saying it drew sharp criticism for Jewish groups and community leaders. Like, who are these other leaders, right? They're saying that this spits in the face of every Jewish person in Los Angeles. How? No one was forced to buy a Kanye ticket, right? So this is where they try to have these hierarchies of hate, where they try to say, oh no, never forget, right? They say never forget the Holocaust, that what happened between approximately 10 to 12 years. But stop talking about 400 plus years of subjugation, enslavement, and oppression, right? Never forget 10 to 12 years. But yeah, let's sweep 400 plus years under the rug, right? So who really has the victim mentality? I'm just saying. So that's a prelude to the discussion. I'm going to let Professor Black Truth take it from here, and then I will be interjecting to give my commentary. And don't trip, I'm about to check the chat just because I know the chat has been chatting and I've just been trying to rock out because I won't be here for a long time, but a strong time. And Sincere says Kanye needs to go to his roots. F the industry and go grassroots out the trunk, let the people lift them up. And that's what happened. See, instead of going the grassroots, he tried to go with the alt-right, with the Nick Fagwentes and the Nazi crowd and all of these other anti-black bigots, the MAGA morons and maniacs. He went that route and thought that that was going to help him. And then all they seen him as is just another useful tool, you know? They see him as just another nigga. And so his Kanye chip was activated. Candace Owens loves her some Kanye West. Well, Candace Owens is a tether, and she only loved him when he was cooning and buffooning. When he was standing up and saying that George Bush don't like black people, where was Candace Owens, right? It was Candace Owens and Kanye. You know what I mean? They was like two peas in a pod. So notice that she stood up for Ye when he was saying white lives matter. Then Candace Owens ran to the rescue when he was talking about black people saying slavery was a choice. And notice that Kanye, he never said that the Holocaust was a choice. So, he said a lot of vile, grotesque, and disgusting things about black people, but all they care about, anti-Semitism. It's the Jews. What did he say about them? Like, okay. And I'm so tired of black people apologizing for things that are factual, but nobody ever apologizes to us, and the J people will shove that apology up his AZZ. They don't forgive like that. No, they don't forgive at all. They're showing here right now they don't forgive. They Chase Bank said they didn't even want his money. I think Kanye had like $1 billion something or like hundreds of millions, and Chase was like, nope, we don't want it in there. Mind you, Nick Fuentes, who is, if you think Kanye is anti-Semitic, Nick Fuentes or Nick Fagwentes is on level 10 compared to Kanye. Why aren't they canceling his thing? Did they cancel Mel Gibson? They canceled him from Hollywood. They didn't stop his bank accounts or anything like that. So he said, I just tell them, look, white Jews are not Semites, so cut the crap with this anti-Sem nonsense. Y'all not even Hebrews. Well, don't tell them that, because people like Bibi Netanyahu will say because he speaks Hebrew, he is Hebrew. And we've been joined by FBA all day, Tutneys. He said, what about Elon Musk anti-J hate speech? Well, they don't care. Trump did some anti-J hate speech. So Ilhan Omar, who is a tether, but when she had said it's all about the Benjamins, she didn't say with Jewish people it's all about the Benjamins. She just was talking about politics in general, which it is true, which is why people constantly talk about getting money out of politics. They had her go on an apology tour because they said that's an anti-Semitic trope about J people with money. But then Donald Trump looked them in the eyes in front of a building of white J people and said how much they love money. But they didn't care. It all seems like one big show. Kanye was one of their biggest advocates, and Candace Owens, and now they turned their back on them after they got a little of that money. White lives matter, remember? Yeah, now the same white bigots that loved Candace Owens, that would really drink her bathwater and would want her to urinate in their mouth, those same people are now saying that she hates white people, even though she's married to a Lily W man, even though every now and then she'll say Israel, and then she'll sneak in FBLM, George Floyd died of fentanyl, and black people, why are you blaming white people for slavery? It's the Jews. That's what Candace Owens is on right now. No, I get what you're saying. He speaks Yiddish, but that's what I'm trying to say. To the common folk, they gonna say that it's Hebrew, but yeah, I get what you're saying, bro. Y'all remember when Juliana Margulies went on a full rant saying black people are brainwashed to hate Jays because we didn't show support for Israel? Yes, because all of these people, they expect us to be their political doormat, right? If you step on dog poo, hey, look at the black doormat. Go wipe your poo over on them and then keep their doormat clean. They want to try to make it seem as if they were all standing up for us in civil rights. Realistically, there were some J people during the civil rights, but it wasn't because they loved black people. It's because most J's in America are racially white. So they couldn't really push the line about them being so oppressed and subjugated because all they had to do was change their last name, which is why you've seen that with Stan Lee, Jenny Jones, Stewart, all of these people that changed their name, right? So they were saying, oh, we're J people. We're so oppressed. So we just changed our name and hid our identity. But the people who were truly oppressed, they piggybacked off of them and said, look what's happened to black people. Black people are getting lynched. Black people are getting brutalized. Black people are getting redlined. Black people with dead peonage. Black, black, black. And then when it's time to hit the legislation, it turns into people of color, marginalized groups, underserved communities, disadvantaged groups. So now those same J people, they're under a disadvantaged group, they're under an underserved community, they're under a minority banner, right? But they couldn't do it on their own because they are seen as just another ethnic white. So this is why they kind of leached on to the black plight, you know, like, hey, we love you, we see you, but it's like it really was a lot of treachery involved. But we're going to get into the video. So this video you can watch uninterrupted on Professor Black Truth's channel, and it's titled, Can the White Media Stop Kanye's Comeback?
Soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the moment of truth. Oh, don't call it a comeback. Kanye West is trying to test the waters to see if he can get back in the music game. But the same people who couldn't wait to bend over backwards to make excuses for the likes of John Davidson are now trying to lecture you and me that Kanye West has, quote, no excuse for the things that he's said in the past. Well, at least the things that have been typified or deemed as anti-Semitic. Not surprisingly, these exact same people have absolutely nothing to say about the things Kanye West has said in the past that offended Black Americans. They didn't seem to have much to say about that at all. So what does that tell you? These are people who couldn't tell you any of Kanye West's songs, and they don't care about him. And the truth of the matter is, this is just another proxy war. We'll get to that in a moment. Kanye West has offered at least something of an apology, but apparently we're told he didn't do it fast enough. That's the sin. Well, he offered an apology, or at the very least a renunciation of some of that wild stuff that he was saying. And yet you got people who are going, well, he needs to grovel lower. He hasn't groveled enough. Because that's what this is really about. The reality is, though, Kanye West doesn't need to grovel. His comeback tour is actually off to a very strong start. According to Bloomberg, Kanye sold out 2 shows at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles just this past week, earning $33 million, according to sources familiar with the numbers. His Friday show earned more than $18 million in ticket sales, said people who declined to be identified because the data hasn't been cleared for public release. This is one of the highest grossing single shows in live music history. That's what the headline should be saying. Kanye West has put on one of the highest grossing single shows in live music history.
And this what shows you that we are the source, the standard, and the pulse. Now, like I said, he is our brother, but Kanye, because he's bipolar, one of his alter egos is Kanye. So he goes from Kanye to Kanye on any given day. However, this is a historic feat. This is not my words. This is from Bloomberg, a very prestigious and notarized institution, and definitely no friend of Black people, definitely no friend of Kanye. Yet they had to admit that this was one of the highest grossing single shows in live music history. But yet they're still just saying, is he going to make a comeback? He's attempting to make a comeback. Is he attempting to make a comeback, or did he already make a comeback? Because it's almost like somebody saying, so-and-so is attempting to come to the league. And then you say, oh, he played 2 games and he scored 50 points in each game. Is he attempting to make a comeback, or is he back? Is he back like some cooked crack? I'm just saying, yay. I think the bro is back. Let's get back into it.
That's what the headline should be. And it would be that if he was, say, Ted Nugent or Kid Rock or some other loser from the past, some other burnout who nobody cares about. That's what they would be saying. They were saying, well, Ted Nugent, it doesn't matter what he said about black people. What matters is the huge sales. He's had one of the highest grossing single shows in live music history. So that tells you right then and there, it doesn't matter what black people say. They're always ready with that line. Whenever black people point out some anti-black racist who's being allowed to work in the entertainment industry as if they did nothing wrong, we're always lectured and told, well, they're making sales and we just got to move on. Well, you people need to move on. Bloomberg also reports that corporations, most of whom had distanced themselves from Kanye, are willing to do business with him again. And that's what lets you know what this is really about. What this is about is their attempts to basically try to raid his pockets, try to make sure that he would be permanently disenfranchised. Well, it didn't quite work out. Looks like Kanye West was able to bounce back after all. So now what they're trying to do is they're trying to cripple him out of the gate. And I say this is somebody who does not have any sort of sympathy or love in my heart for Kanye. This is not a man who I'm out here trying to put on the cape for. What I'm telling you is these would-be detractors of his, they don't care about him either, but they do care about the fact that he's black and he can always be held up as an example of a Negro who needs to be put in their place. That's what this is really about. By their own admission, Kanye is making money again, big money. He's selling out stadiums in LA. The people want his music. They want to hear from him, even if you got some people who are still butthurt about some stuff he said back in the day, and corporations are willing to do business with him again. Sure, they'll sit there and say that Pepsi and some of these soft drink companies have pulled out of the London show that he's planning to do. But as far as these other corporations go, there are other companies that are willing to do business with him regardless. And if he's selling out stadiums, as far as they're concerned, hey, the people have spoken. As long as Kanye stops saying stupid stuff, what should be the problem then? Nothing. There shouldn't be a problem. But the problem is that maintaining the steady drumbeat of scandal on a black person, that's the entire assignment of the white media. That's the problem. As far as they're concerned, we can't have some sort of paradigm of some black person who we ran into the ground, we trashed this guy, and now he's brushing all of the dirt that we threw on him off of him, and he's going to call himself rising like a phoenix. He's going to start making money again over our objections. We can't have that kind of precedent be set. I mean, that's only for white people. Black people are not supposed to be able to do that. So, since the attempt to try to crush Kanye West in the US apparently hasn't been successful, at the very least, it's going to have to take some more effort on their part. He's already showing that he's stronger than their little anti-Kanye machine out there in the West. Now they're looking forward to Britain. Kanye is talking about doing a show over there in Britain, and on cue, the exact same people who were telling us just a little over a month ago that black people needed to get over their criticism of John Davidson. Oh, black people needed to just accept what had happened and move on. We can't just be demanding that people be apologizing forever. What are they saying to Kanye West? He needs to apologize forever. We're told by people like this guy, James O'Brien, that Kanye West, having had an injury from a car accident.
Yeah, and that's the huge double standard. So that dude with Tourette's, and they're saying he can't control himself. Yeah, he keeps yelling nigger at the only two black dudes who came and presented something. But hey, he can't excuse himself because of his disability. Now with Kanye, who's saying that, hey, bro, I had a severe car accident. Like, this is like people seen it. The car was totaled. He had to get his jaw rewired, which is why he made that song Through the Wire, etc. Right? He had traumatic brain injuries. He was diagnosed with bipolarism, so he's not making it up. However, they're still saying it's not an excuse, right? So Tourette's is an excuse to say nigger, but him being bipolar is not an excuse for him to have manic episodes, right? He took accountability and said, hey, look, what I said was vile. I shouldn't have said it. I wasn't in my right mind. Most people that are being bipolar are not in their right mind, which is why they're called manic and having an episode. But the dude who was yelling nigger on the BAFTA stage, he was in his right mind, right? It's just his disability is being treated with kid gloves. Meanwhile, Kanye, who one of those J people threatened to have him institutionalized and take his kids away, right? This was a J person. Nobody called that anti-black, but they want to focus on anti-Semitism. Okay.
Why, that's no excuse. And other people, they're putting out the headlines, well, sure, he's bipolar, but is that an excuse, really? Have you ever heard them questioning anyone's mental disorder before or a mental disease? They certainly weren't doing it with John Davidson. They never questioned anyone's mental disease before. They've never said, well, just because someone's bipolar, that's no excuse for their behavior. You have never heard them say that before. Until now. Now, all of a sudden, being bipolar, well, that doesn't matter. We're not showing any sort of sympathy for people dealing with mental illness. Yeah, these exact same people were lecturing us just a month ago, no end, and they called themselves trying to finger wag in our faces, but their fingers fell off. And I was the one who said at that time, Kanye West was a perfect case study of the hypocrisy on display here, that these exact same people, they were not willing to allow for any sort of mental disease defense for Kanye West's behavior or the things that he had said. So why the world were we being lectured and being told that we're supposed to be making excuses for idiots like John Davidson? Racists like John Davidson should be getting the Kanye West treatment, and he would if he was black. Make no mistake, what's going on now, this is not about anything Kanye West said, any more than it was about anything that Kyrie Irving had retweeted on Twitter. This is about who he said it about, and the fact that he's not.
And let's not forget what they did to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got traded from the team, which I'm glad he got traded from the Nets, but they did a public buck breaking of him. All he did was share a movie. The movie called From Hebrews to Negroes. That's what it was called. And they said that it had some alleged anti-Semitic things in there. They never said what it was. They just said the video was anti-Semitic. And then when they say, okay, what was anti-Semitic about it? We don't even want to speak about it. It was disgusting. Okay, fine. What was disgusting? Just so I know what not to believe and what not to support. No, don't even watch the movie. It was disgusting. But what was disgusting about it? It was anti-Semitic. It's like, come on, man. So based on that, which they couldn't clearly define what was anti-Semitic, they had a bunch of the Steppin' Fetches Sambos, Shannon Sharp, before he had Club Shay Shay, he was one of them. Stephen A. Smith was one of them, of course. So they went around and Kyrie, he held his own, especially having a machine going against him. It was his Asian owner who was really putting a lot of smut on his name, all because he shared a movie. He shared a link to the movie. He didn't say, hey, look, I endorse everything in this movie. All he did was share a link. He got suspended for multiple games. They wanted to fine him millions of dollars. And then you got goofy people who will say that black people have a victim mindset. What type of mindset is someone who's being victimized supposed to have anyways? Imagine your beautiful daughter is getting sexually assaulted over and over and over. And then it stops, and then she's having these flashbacks and withdrawals because she's dealt with a traumatic lifestyle. Are you going to tell her to stop having a victim mindset? Get over it. That happened 5 years ago. Well, I mean, what is the cutoff date, right, of you getting sexually assaulted, right? Are you supposed to get over it after the first year, the 5th year, the 10th year? After 20 years, you're supposed to forget that it ever happened to you? But all these other groups who talk about a victim mindset, when any little thing happens to them, they start crying and whining. Trump said we have the Kung flu. Stop Asian hate, huh? Okay. I mean, what's been worse? Nobody got lynched because of the Kung flu. People got lynched because they were called niggers, though. But we were told, get over it. Fine. We'll get over being called nigger, and you get over being called the China virus and saying that you need to go back to your country. You can't get over that. Jewish people, some of them can't get over someone saying it's all about the Benjamins and wasn't even referencing your group. Y'all can't get over that. Just saying.
White. That's what the real issue is. Oh, how differently the British rhetoric is when it's not a white man throwing around anti black slurs. All of a sudden, now it's a hanging offense. And also, these overnight critics of people with mental disorders conveniently say nothing about the insults Kanye West threw at the black community, such as saying that slavery was a choice. Yeah, apparently slavery's okay, right? The same way that Hollywood bestowed instant absolution on Mel Gibson because his Jewish friend Robert Downey Jr. said that he had been out in the cold long enough. I think the phrase that Downey Jr. used was, he's hugged the cactus long enough. So that's what they do when they're dealing with a white person. Oh, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bestow instant forgiveness on them. We're going to say, okay, all is forgiven, and we're not going to be bringing this up anymore. We'll go ahead and let you live this one down as long as there's no relapses, right? But at no point did Downey Jr., Gibson, or anyone else say a word about Mel Gibson's anti-black rhetoric that he'd been spewing. Oh, as far as they were concerned, well, we're only concerned about the anti-Semitic stuff that you said, about Jews run the world and all of that. Nobody ever demanded that Mel Gibson offer an apology for what he said, not to black people anyway, or that he do.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Mel Gibson, they just want to frame him as anti-Semite, right? Anti-Semite, anti-Semite. They don't even mention the anti-blackness. He said more stuff that was more targeted and vitriolic towards black people, but they don't care. They agree with what he was saying about black people, but no, he can't speak about this chosen group that's, the Star of David people. You can't speak about them.
Do anything to express remorse. So if he doesn't have to say that he's sorry for everything that he said and sorry to everyone that he offended, then why should Kanye West do so?
And shout out to Ricky Williams. This is actually lightweight a bar. He says the revolution been hijacked by the pity party. Yes, we are the ones who actually have a legitimate grievance to actually throw a pity party. And I'm not saying that people should be throwing a pity party. I'm just saying the legitimacy of the grievances, right? They'll try to say, hey, a trans person, being called a tranny is the same as somebody being called a nigger. A white person getting called a Karen now is considered the same as being called a nigger. But where was the mass lynching of Karens? Where is the mass incarceration of trans people? Right? So all of these other groups, while at the same time they tell you don't beg the government, stop having a victim mindset, and then you say, you know what? We shouldn't ask the government for anything. And you know what? We do need to stop having a victim mindset. And then once we do that, they turn around and say, we're victims. Look at JD Vance, right? Saying white people are victims. Erica Kirk, don't ever let anyone talk down to you, especially if you're a white man, right? This is what Erica Kirk's saying. This is what a bunch of elite white people are going around saying, that they're victims. Tucker Carlson says systemic racism didn't exist. Then a couple years ago, he said it did exist, but only against white people, right? So a lot of people, they do throw a lot of pity parties while at the same time telling you not to throw one. Don't see yourself as a victim. Oh my God, they said we have the Kung flu. Yeah, but you're not a victim. Who cares if they said you have the Kung flu? Who cares if they said you have the China virus? You're not a victim. It's just a word, right? But no, they said stop Asian hate. Why are they telling us to go back to our country? You're triggered because someone told you to go back to your country? Okay, maybe they shouldn't have said that to you. Maybe it's insensitive and offensive. But enough to throw a pity party? Enough to get legislation passed where your community gets millions and millions of dollars based on said pity party? Based on your victim politics? According to the Bible, they're the ones that killed Jesus, his own people. Well, you know what? They even went after Jamie Foxx several years ago. Jamie Foxx had posted, they killed Jesus. He didn't say J people killed Jesus. He didn't name a specific group. All he said was they killed Jesus. And then he had Jennifer Aniston and some other Hollywood bimbos coming after him, calling him anti-Semitic. And he had to go on an apology tour for saying they killed Jesus. Just like Ilhan Omar, when she said it's all about the Benjamins, she didn't say, hey, with J people, it's all about the Benjamins. She just said it in general. And in politics, it is all about the Benjamin, which is why Elon donated over 100 million and Miriam Adelson donated 200 plus million. It's all about the Benjamins. How is that anti-Semitic? How is that not victimhood? But guess what? No one cares because it's coming from the chosen group.
Why is Kanye West some sort of special case exemption? He apparently needs to carry the weight of all of his sins until the white media feels that he's groveled long enough, at least to them. Especially when you consider that Kanye West is selling out arenas, even with the simultaneous attack campaign that he's under, it becomes doubly ridiculous. This is selective outrage, which means this isn't some moral crusade. This is just moral panic. It's political. And in the meanwhile, nobody's bringing up a true racist, John Davidson, but we're getting phony outrage that Kanye West is planning to do a festival in Britain. As if Britain didn't have any bigots before he showed up, right? Now, I find it to be doubly laughable that they're all in a tizzy about Kanye West and songs about Hitler because Prince Harry ran around with a swastika armband at a so-called party back in the day, and for some reason that was swept under the rug immediately, never mind the fact that the Nazis were bombing Britain when Harry's granny first took the throne. But of all the things that Harry has done, all these scandals and these social faux pas that he's been involved in, they allowed that swastika armband to conveniently fall down the memory hole. They weren't dragging it up, and last time I checked, Prince Harry doesn't have any sort of mental disorder or any sort of mental disease. So what's his excuse? And what's the excuse of the James O'Briens out there who are having a convenient fit of pique over this? What you're seeing is the final evidence that the defenders of John Davidson were never concerned about mental anything. John Davidson had a so-called tic. Kanye West, on the other hand, is legitimately bipolar. We got nothing but excuses for John Davidson. A man by his own admission knows what he's going to do before he does it. Kanye West, on the other hand, has been shooting for the lip for decades now. Now, obviously, we could tell Kanye West that he knows he's bipolar and that he knows that he doesn't think straight, so he needs to take his medication or to go to therapy or both or whatever he needs to do to keep himself on an even keel. Kanye West isn't making excuses for what he said, and John Davidson isn't making excuses either because he doesn't have to. He has all these little racists out here boldly saying that he doesn't have to apologize for anything. After all, he can't control himself. All right, then neither can Kanye West. Because we're not going to play the game of black people being held to standards while non-black people are held to none. The same trash who were saying that words aren't magic when we were calling out John Davidson, they're now saying that words are sorcery when Kanye West or any other black person says them. Now all of a sudden words do real damage. Words are not just magic. Words happen to be godlike. How many people have died from Kanye West's anti-Semitic remarks again? Anybody keeping a body count? So when are we going to see the free speech crowd out in force like they are whenever some anti-black racist says something? Black people need to understand that entertainers, and this includes athletes, are seen as valuable in the white media only because they give them a black person with money and fame who they can take down and crush them and hold them up as an example.
So yeah, they see them as useful idiots. They bring them all the way up to prominence, and then they can tear them down, i.e. Diddy. Diddy had bottles of baby oil, right? Diddy was a small fry in terms of those freak offs, right? They have all of these, Diddy pales in comparison to what Larry Flint, the hustler dude, was doing, to what Hugh Hefner was doing. How old was Hugh Hefner when he had all of these barely legal people around his mansion, right? But where was all of the vitriol towards Hugh Hefner? He was considered a playboy. He wasn't considered a pedo. He wasn't considered a predator, right? They want to talk about Kanye when he has his wife and his wife is out there strutting her stuff, and the stuff, it do be strutting, right? So then they try to make him seem like, oh, his wife is just a victim. as if she doesn't want to go out showing her cheeks and stuff like that. But all of the young girls that Hugh Hefner took advantage of, no, they weren't victim. They were just looking for a good time. Okay, so was Kim K, and so was Kanye's current wife, right? But it's not framed as that way. It's framed as the big bad boogie black man over here pimping out his wife. Do y'all really think Kanye is putting a gun to Bianca's head and making her walk out the house with her cheeks out? Chicks want to do this all the time. Not all of them, but chicks in this type of lifestyle, that's what they do. You see it on the red carpet all the time. Some of the most prestigious, prominent public figures, they go out there showing their goodies and assets, right? So his wife is no different.
They get their jollies doing that. Now, of course, Kanye West gets no sympathy from me, but I'm not going to jump on the condemnation bandwagon either, because truth be told, Kanye dug this hole, so it's up to him to claw his way out of it. And it's not like the man is broke or anything. Besides, anybody who's stupid enough to hang around with the likes of Amber Rose or foolish enough to be pining away for Kim Kardashian of all people, well, that guy pretty much is a lost cause. But I also want it to be understood that these critics of Kanye West, they would be attacking him regardless, just like they did with Kyrie.
I mean, that is a good point. He was with Amber Rose, who was a confused, bird-brained baby bop bimbo. Then he was with Kim K, who is a renowned billionaire, 304, right? An executive 304, let's just call her that, right? So yeah, I mean, the dude doesn't make the best decisions when it comes to his social circle.
Irving, because if it wasn't this, it would be something else. And with Kanye showing that he still has support, the real danger is that trying to continue scandalizing him would backfire like it did when they tried to scandalize Kyrie Irving out of the NBA. But just ask bootlicking morons like Goldie Taylor how effective that is. She's still as scared as Rolling Stone was that black men who survive being canceled, I mean truly canceled, not the fake phony canceled like Fox News talks about, but black men who survive the white media blitz to try to erase them from the scene, if they manage to survive all that and make a comeback on their own terms, and they don't have to actually kiss any sort of white media person's behind to get there, if they decide that instead of groveling, they're just going to get on their grind, well, that would set a terrible precedent. That would be a horrible influence on those young black men who Goldie Taylor pretended to care about, when in reality, she has nothing but contempt for them. Because you see, those young black men, if they see someone like Kanye West do something like that.
So who he's talking about, Goldie Taylor, is some sort of mammy who goes out of her way to crap on black men. And when Kyrie Irving, all he did was share a video, look at the article in Rolling Stone. Black anti-Semitism isn't rare, it's ingrained. So she won't write a story about anti-blackness in the J community. However, she will write this mythical story about some rage and anti-Semitism in the black community, saying that it's not rare. So she's saying that it's common and it's ingrained. And let's just say hypothetically or theoretically that it was ingrained. So if our anti-Semitism is ingrained, so you mean that the J people are just saying, oh, we know that the blacks have ingrained anti-Semitism, so what? They're just sweet little angels and our friends? We know that you're anti-Semitic, but don't worry, black people. We love you, niggers. I mean, we love you, minorities. Like, come on. No one believes that. We're not even anti-Semitic. When they had those videos, Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us. Where was the black people? There was no black people, but they had no smoke for those Lily W's marching in the street with tiki torches. All they just said was, hey, anti-Semitism, we fear for our lives. But hey, toughen up, buttercup. Ain't that what y'all told us? Why should they be extra protected, right? All hate matters, right? But we got Braxton, the 504 boy, Wode, New Orleans, in the building. 30 to 40 years ago, athletes were looked at as being the dumbest people in our society. They were big, dumb jocks, entertainers. Original role was the fools for the kings. Well, yeah, many of these athletes, and it's not just athletes, it's just entertainers, celebrities, public figures. Many of them are stumbling, bumbling imbeciles, and some of them are not imbeciles. They are just tools for the oligarchy and the establishment. So they have to play as if they're dumb or naive because they know that they have an agenda, and that agenda is usually to disenfranchise black people, to uphold, this benevolent token. Hey, look, Michael Jordan's made money, so anyone could do it. Hey, Barack Obama was president, so anyone could do it, right? So what if you live in some hood with dilapidated buildings and the schools are underfunded, right? Tyler Perry did it, so can you. So that's, what they like to do with these entertainers, right? And then once they get them, a non-black person, then they say, look, there's no racism because this black person made it to the league and he got him a white woman. So racism is over, right? You couldn't have done this in Jim Crow time. So look, that's progress. Okay. They fear for their lives, but have a whole country with an A bomb. Yeah, believable. Yeah, they always say they fear for their lives, right? It's the same thing as black fatigue. They have black fatigue, but all they share is fight videos of black people, talk about black people this, and then they riding around listening to rap music while saying they have black fatigue. Then other black people internalize it too and say, "Man, we got a violence problem." No, there's violence in a centralized area. The majority of black people aren't committing violence. But right now, Trump, right? He's the leader of the free world. Who is committing violence right now, right? What Trump is doing over in Iran makes Chicago look like child's play. So really, who is more violent? So they'll talk about one crusty, musty, dusty nigga in Chicago that did a drive-by. Meanwhile, you're supposed to see that as more violent, more evil, more heinous than Trump and his cronies who are pushing buttons and slaughtering little girls to the tune of hundreds. What's worse? One goofy nigga doing a drive-by, shooting someone that didn't get killed or possibly killing someone, getting caught on camera, getting locked up and held accountable, or Trump and his minions dropping ton-pound bombs on little girls' schools, slaughtering hundreds of little girls. What is worse? Who was held accountable? All they said is, oops, my bad. Which one is more violent? Right? Some nigga on a corner that's not even selling an ounce of weed. The nigga got a half ounce of weed. But he's terrorizing the community. But meanwhile, they set up a dispensary that's selling metric tons. But you're supposed to be convinced that that dude selling a half ounce of weed, he was destroying the community. So now we're going to come in and we're going to do it right and sell tons. That dude didn't even have the capacity to sell tons. But he's, the evil person. And because these people got a loan from the daddy government, they're somehow righteous? They're doing the same thing. They get mad at people. Why y'all was selling drugs? You do the crime, you do the time. What time did the Sackler family do when they got a bunch of lily white people addicted to all sort of Oxycontin and other drugs? Those are the biggest drug dealers. Instead of focusing on them, they want you to focus on some dude that sold a nickel bag in the park. He shouldn't have been selling. He sold it to someone who was willing to buy. He didn't put a gun to their head. They wanted to buy it. Fair exchange is no robbery. He broke the law. So did the Sackler family. They can't say that anymore, though, because they're going through it. Matter of fact, next time they talk about how hard times have gotten for ordinary Americans, just tell them, hey, Trump made it. Why can't you? Yeah. right? Trump is the president. I don't want to hear about how you struggling in Appalachia. Look at JD Vance. It's more than folks having inner fatigue or financial fatigue. Even the white supremacist Richard Spencer has came to his own realization on how the U.S. really works. I think even Richard Spencer, who is a renowned anti-black bigot, is saying he's tired of the race talk. So when racists are getting tired of the race talk, when racists are getting tired of the race talk, man, that's a doozy. So let me just play.
They just might.
It's only like 1 minute left. I'm going to play this video. I'm going to transition into this story, and I'm going to just kind of breeze through this story because I do got to get up out of here.
Start to lose their fear of the white powers that be, or their Negro bootlicks like Goldie Taylor, especially the white media in particular. Those young men, they see stuff like this, they might start paying attention to the support they have right in front of them and stop caring about whether they're getting nice headlines from a white media that never cared about them in the first place. And if black people, even though willfully deluded like Kanye West, were to start taking the white media's power away from them, now that's something they would really find offensive. Good day and be one.
So that's the Professor Black Truth. Make sure that you go subscribe to his channel. He's definitely always cooking and standing on business for the lineage and for the country. But who do we blame? I blame all these people that have kept their heads down and been compliant to all of the killing that one group across the world has colonized and continued doing to everyone. Yeah, and this is where it gets a bit goofy because they love to say the black community has an accountability problem when actually we don't. We are always been held accountable, over accountable. It's a bunch of channels right now saying black people ain't ish, black people don't do this, black people this, black people that, black people are failing, black people are cooked. Whether you like it or not, that's a form of accountability. All you got, even black people saying woke this, woke that. Tell me on the flip side where there's white people talking about white on white crime. It's a bunch of goofy, brain dead, buck broken Boule members talking about black on black crime. Show me the people talking about white on white crime. When Charlie Kirk was unalived by a alleged trans loving white dude, no one called it white on white crime. They tried to frame him as a raging Democrat, but there's no race called Democrat though, right? So yeah, these people who say, hey, we conquered. Okay, fine. If you conquered, that means you're in charge. If you're in charge, that means you're at the helm. If you're at the helm, when something happens, I have to blame you. You were the one in charge. You can't say, hey, we conquered you. We're the dominant society. We're superior. We're supreme. Fine, you're supreme. You're the one in charge. So when there's blame to go around, I have to blame you. You know, the one in charge. If there's a football team and you say you're the quarterback and we lose and you had a crappy performance as the quarterback, don't tell me to blame the water boy or the towel boy or someone sitting in the stands. You are the quarterback. You're supposed to be the heart, soul, and leader of the team. You failed. So don't try to say, hey, why y'all always blaming me? Well, you always want to be the quarterback. You always want to lead the team. With great power comes great responsibility. Kensington, the White Skid Row, Appalachia, Wyoming, trailer parks in the South and Midwest, those majority white populated areas, the criminal activity is much higher. Yes, because they say that the primary predictor of crime is poverty, right? Impoverished area, dilapidated buildings. You become a product of your environment, right? If you put a dog in junkyard conditions, don't be surprised when that dog is a grouchy junkyard dog. But if you raise that dog in a nurtured, loving home, then you may get Air Bud, Lassie, or Beethoven, right? You're not going to get a Lassie if you chain it up as a junkyard dog. So let me go ahead and pull this one up, and this will be the last story. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of the video because I do have to head out, but I'm going to react to this video. This is from a brother called Dante's Nation Boxing, and he actually does give really good commentary. He usually comments on boxing, but he does delve into some socioeconomic issues. I believe he's overseas in Thailand, but if I'm not mistaken, he's a Black American. I don't know if he's a foundational Black American freedman, but I do believe he is a Black American. So this video is titled All Hell Breaks Loose, and guess who's coming to the rescue? Raccoons of the Month. And this was from 2 days ago. So this is going to be a rebuke of people that are supporting Trump and MAGA, which is okay because both parties are the same. I don't support Trump or MAGA. However, sometimes with this type of commentary, with these type of channels, there's some shilling going on. And I think some of it is intentional and some of it is subconscious. So there's this conscious shilling and the subconscious shilling for the Democrats, which ultimately reduces the argument to the lesser of two evils. But if evil is an option, then I'm going to elect not to choose evil. But what they want to do is force you to try to say, no, you have to choose evil. You just have to choose a lesser one. No, I don't. You know what I mean? There's other options. And if there's not other options, then I'll wait until there's better options. Choosing the lesser of two evils is like, do you want a double-decker shit sandwich or do you want some vomit soup with extra flies? Choose the lesser of those two disgusting options. Which one is less? Well, I mean, I guess you can make a case that vomit soup is better because it will go down quicker. Oh, no, man. A double-decker shit sandwich would be better than vomit soup. Like, huh? It sounds goofy and confusing. That's how goofy you sound when you're trying to argue about the lesser of two evils. Why is evil an option for you?
Country acting like they're turning against Donald Trump, criticizing him heavily, claiming that they regret their vote because this is not what they voted for. You even have self-proclaimed MAGA Nazis that are completely denouncing Donald Trump, telling people not to even vote for him.
It would have been fixed in 2025, but it wasn't. They made every mistake. Liberation Day, disaster. Doge, disaster. Big Beautiful Bill, disaster. Epstein files, disaster. Iran, disaster. The personnel, Mike Waltz, disaster. Ratcliffe, disaster. Rubio, disaster. Pam Bondi, disaster. All self-inflicted. Trump personnel, Trump policy, Trump strategy, Trump playbook. We tried it your way. It didn't work. You. Now we don't vote. That's the message. Seriously. Can't blame anybody else. Bad advice.
Hold on, bro. Sounding like the B1 grassroots. He's saying don't vote. This sounds like vote the couch. Now, I think abstaining from your vote is a strategy, but voting is a strategy as well. And sometimes you might have to suck it up and do a protest vote. You may not like the Republicans, but we do need a contingent of our community to vote Republican, Libertarian, Green Party at the very bare minimum. You do need to change your registration to independent if you're allowed to. Just that in itself is a power move. Now, you can change to be independent and then in the general, if you want to vote Democrat or whatever you want. But in terms of leveraging your vote, if you're a Democrat and you just stay a Democrat and then they don't answer to whatever your demands are and you still vote for them anyways because it's the lesser of two evils, well, why would they change? Imagine it like this. If you're in a relationship and your boyfriend is cheating on you and you want him to stop and you keep pleading with him to stop, but you take him back every time. Why would he stop cheating? You're going to take him back anyways. And he can whisper sweet nothings in your ear. You lied to me. Yeah, he lied to you. He played you. He brought you back a STD. But guess what? You took him back. So why should he stop? And that's what the Democrats are banking on. They don't mind what Trump is doing because they are just going to say, hey, we don't like you niggas, but hey, he hates y'all niggas. So how about you vote for somebody that dislikes you versus someone who actually hates you? And that's the psychological mind game that the Democrats have been playing. But the Democrats, they hate black people even more than the Republicans. Which one would you rather have? Someone that calls you a nigger to your face, so you already know that I want no dealings with this person because they hate my existence and they're disgusting, or someone who says, hey, buddy, oh pal, let me invite you to dinner because I love you, buddy. And then they poison your food, or they invite you to dinner and then they give you a crumb. It's like, why'd you invite me to dinner to give me a crumb of a biscuit while they're eating a full course entree? And then they bring out a plate and you say, oh, damn, that plate looks delicious. Is that plate for me? Oh, no, this is for the immigrant in another country. It's like, hold on, where's that immigrant coming from? Oh, they're from Colombia, but they'll be here in 2 days. So we're going to have this food for them. But it's like, I thought you said we were friends and we were the backbone and all this other stuff. Shut up, nigger. Vote blue no matter who. That's pretty much what the Democrats do. You know what I mean? Here, give you a seat at the table. And then look, we're going to pour a bottle of wine, but not for you. This is for people of color. And then when it's time for you to tip your glass, oops, we ran out of wine. You know what I mean? But vote for us again, and then maybe you can get a sip of this wine next time. Vote for us again, and maybe it won't be a crumb. You'll actually get a buttered biscuit. But it's like you gave the person that just crossed over here some wine, a butter biscuit, crumpets, a back rub, a baby stroller. You know what I mean? So which one is worse? Someone that lets you know up front that they ain't your friend, or someone that pretends to be your friend and is actively harming you? I would say that the Democrats are way worse, and both parties support this. Good cop, bad cop. It's all about political theater, but the agenda remains the same: to keep us at the bottom. Every group co-signs this. Unfortunately, even many in our group, because we've been socially engineered to accept being at the bottom.
Biden's economy. Enough already. It didn't work. We're not voting. I'm staying home. After this year, 2025 is the year that MAGA died. This is the year that this hat is no longer controversial. The hat is not edgy. The hat is not provocative. It doesn't even mean anything. This hat is dead. This hat is dead. Now, metaphorically speaking. And this is the future.
Base 44 super agents. The next thing you can't live without. No setup. Just say.
Now, for those of you guys who don't know who this is Nick Fuentes. He's a self-proclaimed white supremacist. Even though he identifies as white, he does have a Mexican grandfather. But nowadays, you got Nazis of all colors. Even Kanye West is a Nazi. In fact, he was the one that invited Nick Fuentes to a Donald Trump meeting or dinner or whatever. He introduced him to Donald. So while you have all of these people turning against Donald Trump, or at least claiming.
And see, that was the bipolar Kanye. He was hanging around with Nick Fuentes, Milo Faganopoulos, and some other people, right? A bunch of Nazis that he was hanging around, saying hell Adolf. He was running around with Sneak Ho. So he was around a bunch of clowns, coons, tethers, incels, miscreants. So we'll chalk that up to his bipolar manic buffoonery.
To turn against Donald Trump, because honestly, the only one who's really, truly, passionately turning against Donald Trump is Nick Fuentes. When it comes to Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz and other people, I feel they're just trying to save face publicly, but they still support Trump. There is no doubt in my mind, if Trump could run again for office, they would vote for him. They would act like they're not voting for him, but when they get in that booth, they would definitely vote for him. They just know that it's gotten to the point now to where it's kind of hard to justify. I mean, it was always hard to justify supporting the racist, but it's even harder to justify it now. So once again, while you have some of the worst people in the country, the worst POSs in the country that are acting like they're turning their back against Trump, you have the worst group of black people that are going out of their way to still support Trump. Now, let me just tell you this. The only thing worse than a racist is a black person that parrots and echoes every single thing a racist says. In other words, he is his number one advocate. Now, when it comes to Black MAGA, you have two different kinds of Black MAGA people. You have the ones that will say, oh, well, I don't like neither one of them, but they'll constantly keep.
So he's about to go into gaslight mode, and Dante, I know dude got a bigger channel, so bro ain't probably gonna hear this. I might have to tag him. Now I support your content, but now you're getting into some Democrat shillery right here, right? Chili, who cares if Chili donated to Trump, right? Nobody looks to Chili as a leader of the community. Janet Jackson, come on, Dante, like, bruh, don't go at the don't go at the queen, the queen of rhythm, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, right? Nick Cannon, okay, fine. Nick Cannon, I don't support what he was saying. I do like that he called out the Democrats, but saying that he F with Trump and that the Republicans support black people, I can't rock with that, right? I did support Ice Cube coming out with the contract of Black America, but now that's seeming more and more like it was I can't say that it was a grift, but by him not saying anything else about it, it is giving off that vibe. Now, maybe he just was exhausted with some of the backlash that he received, but I still can't buy that because, bro, you're a gangster, bruh, or a alleged gangster, right? So he was doing gangster rap. He had the feds coming after him. He had law enforcement coming after him. He dodged a lot of, troublesome activity in the hood. So, I mean, I don't get why he would back off something as serious as the contract for Black America. Like, I don't know why he would think it was okay for that year and then just stop doing it. Even if him personally didn't pick up the mantle, he should have just passed the torch to someone else. So that's something that you don't really play with. Snoop, Snoop is a company, man. So, and why are we even looking to celebrities and public figures to be our representatives and spokespersons anyways? We have to assume that every celebrity and public figure are beholden to the establishment. They have all sorts of buck breaking rituals, and most importantly, the most important aspect of buck breaking is the psychological aspect, because once you're psychologically broken, they don't have to do anything physically to you because you're not going to challenge them in any serious type of way. And there's this toxic mindset where people think that, hey, if you're Black MAGA or you're conservative, which none of us should be caping for political parties. We're supposed to be crashing out for policy. Now, if there's a serious white person that's pushing forward lineage-based policy, I'll vote for him over Jim Sambo Clyburn, right? This whole identity politics thing, which all politics is identity politics, but there's a form of toxic identity politics where people just get blinded and immersed in the identity that it doesn't have them thinking rationale, right? Because saying that, hey, I'm a vote for someone based on working class issues, that's identity politics. Voting on someone based on their Christian values is identity politics. Voting on someone because they're standing up for women's rights to choose is identity politics, right? Someone standing up for this is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants is identity politics. So all of these people, they try to frame it as if, hey, Black MAGA, they're leaning into some sort of identity politics that disparages the community, but no one disparages the Black community more than the Democrats. But both parties are the same. So both parties co-sign the subjugation. But yeah, Dante, salute to you, bruh. But like, this is starting to sound like Democrat shillery.
Have some of the worst people in the country, the worst POSs in the country that are acting like they're turning their back against Trump. You have the worst group of Black people that are going out of their way to still support Trump. Now, let me just tell you this. The only thing worse than a racist is a Black person.
And yes, I know Chile is an FBA. I think she has some sort of Caribbean background or whatever. But, that's how we are. We're all inclusive. We support everyone. And you don't have to be FBA to get our love, support, and inclusivity. However, due to the rampant tethering, or the toxic tethering is what I like to call it, and people just not willing to stand with and stand up for us, now people are gatekeeping. Some of that gatekeeping is getting a little bit messy, and some of the delineation process rhetorically is getting messy. But you know what? It needs to happen, because there have been decades going by while we've sat back and let people say you don't have a culture, you don't know where you're from, blase, blase, all of these disrespectful things, while at the same time cosplaying and tethering onto our culture that they claim that we don't have, right? One of the main things that's part of our culture that everybody wants to take part of is saying nigga. Nigga is a degenerate word, right? Being a nigga typically puts you in a degenerate mindset, right? Because most people that are using that come from an impoverished background, right? They come from the soil, and they come from a culture of niggatry, is what I'll call it, right? But a bunch of these other cats, that's not your culture. But you try to live. Well, I grew up next to black people. Okay, that's still not your culture, right? If I grow up next to Caribbean people, I'm not gonna start pretending like jerk chicken is suddenly my culture just because I ate it. I ate jerk chicken. I loved it. Now that's my culture. No, it's not. It's just a recipe that you enjoy. You know what I mean? And that's what people try to do, whether it be hip hop, any of our culture, because they grew up next to black people, then suddenly they can partake in anything. I say, fine, if you want to do that, then that means nothing is off limits. I don't want to hear about cultural appropriation when, I'm doing my thing with my sombreros and selling my tacos from my taqueria. It's going to be called a niggeria, where we sell black tacos. Let's get back into it.
That parrots and echoes every single thing a racist says. In other words, he is his number one advocate. Now, when it comes to Black MAGA, you have two different kinds of.
And Luke Skywalker says cosplaying and then be disrespectful. Yeah. Tethering is just a disrespectful process entirely. Always say this, right? Filipinos are Asian. Koreans are Asian. Japanese people are Asian. You know who is responsible for samurai and ninja culture? That would be Japanese people. It would be offensive, disrespectful for Filipinos to try to say, hey, I'm Asian and Japanese people are Asian. And since we all Asians, I can take credit for samurai culture because we all Asian, right? People be like, hell to the no, no, no. Japanese culture is what bred and brought about samurai and ninja culture, right? Other people can partake, they can be enamored with it, but to try to claim it as your own, just based on flat Asianness, that would be idiotic and disrespectful, right? And people will understand that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, why would an Asian Filipino try to claim Japanese Asian samurai culture? But then on the flip side, why would an African Senegalese person try to claim foundational Black American hip hop? Why would all of these people from the continent try to claim our slang and say, we all Black, y'all came up with jazz, country, rock, and all this other stuff, but because y'all have some African descent, some of y'all, then that means we all created it. Huh? It doesn't even make any sense.
Black MAGA people, you have the ones that will say, oh, well, I don't like neither one of them, but they'll constantly keep dissing the black candidate. They'll tell you how they couldn't stand Obama, they couldn't stand Kamala, but never say one single thing about the Nazi who's in office right now. And then you have the.
So Obama is a biracial Kenyan American, and Kamala is a mixed raced Asian Indo-American, right? So they're trying to put this whole one drop rule, and he's talking, and then this is the toxic identity politics. Why y'all going at the black candidates, but you ain't say nothing about Trump? Huh? Okay, right now, if there was a family member and a stranger and y'all had a business together, who would you hold more responsible if the business goes to crap? Probably would be your family member. You're supposed to have a tighter rapport with them. Y'all supposed to have a better level of communication. Y'all supposed to have an agenda that y'all carrying out together. I would put more of the onus on my family member in this situation. So if Obama and Kamala was supposed to be of the community, of course we should have more criticism for them. They're of the community, right? If you on the Lakers and you playing the Warriors, right? Would you have more criticism for the people that's on your team on the Lakers or someone that's on the opposing team, the Warriors? You got to clean your house first. So if these politicians are allegedly a part of our community, we have to get our house in order first. So that means we need to be criticizing Obama. And Obama said, I'm not the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. So why are you even bringing up this black stuff? Y'all criticizing the black ones. Yeah. If your cousin steal from you, are you going to be like, you not going to criticize your cousin because he's black and he's from your bloodline? No, I might smack the crap out of my cousin. I ain't going to say, my cousin is black just like me. We have the same skin pigment. I can't smack up my cousin because, we all black. Huh? Like, bro, Dante, bro, do you hear yourself? Like, chill with the Democrat chivalry. I'm not a Republican. So I say both parties suck. He should be talking about a way that we can build and franchise and enrich our community outside of politics. You got to play the inside game, mostly outside and some inside, right? It's the swamp. You can't drain the swamp. The swamp is ever flowing, right? But we can build outside of the swamp with mutual aid. How many kids have you tutored? F them kids. Okay, fine. When them kids run amok and rob your whole ass, you said F them kids. So why should they care? But how many kids did you babysit so people don't have to pay so much for tutor? How many food plates did you give out? How many times did you try to start a community garden? Did you do a backpack drive? Did you do a book drive? Did you do any sort of community outreach? Did you clean up any trash in your hood? So it's a lot of things that you could be doing that you don't need public and political oversight. All of these things you can just do for free. You can do your own health clinic. Now, you may not have the resources to make it as robust as it needs to be, but once you start, you got to crawl before you walk. Once you start crawling, you're going to see a lot of other people start walking. Then you're going to start jogging. And then the community is going to be in a full all out sprint. What are you waiting for? Nothing is stopping you but you.
I don't like neither one of them, but they'll constantly keep dissing the black candidate. They'll tell you how they couldn't stand Obama, they couldn't stand Kamala, but never say one single thing about the Nazi who's in office right now. And then you have the other black MAGA people like Nick Cannon, for example, or Kanye West, who they don't hide it at all, at least until they get a whole bunch of backlash. Kanye West, now all of a sudden, he says, I've given up on politics. I ain't got nothing bad to say, but the damage is already.
And Roger says, Shaolin Chinese. Imagine saying to Japanese, are you a Shaolin monk? And that's what I'm saying. These types of things would be considered like extremely disrespectful because people would already know, like, no, that's not part of our culture. But then if you said, hey, but y'all both are Asian, right? And that's exactly what they do with us. Y'all black. You know what I mean? Nigerians is black too, so they started hip hop. How? You know what I mean? Like, so it's a bit goofy. You know what I mean? They want to give the credit to hip hop to people like Amaru Fuddle, aka Myron Gaines or Myron Lames, the tether in charge. I notice whenever Republicans pushing for something like getting rid of affirmative action, the Democrats co-sign on it. And that's what I'm saying. Both parties are the same. Two cheeks on the same booty, two fangs on the same viper. Even right now, when they're saying with this whole deportations, right? Trump numbers are abysmal. There's no mass deportations going on. There's controversial deportations. Biden deported more than Trump. Obama, who they called the deporter in chief, he deported more than Trump. And guess what? The Democrats didn't give a flying flip about it. All they are doing now is trying to do this because they want to pander towards the millions and millions of illegal immigrants that they let into the country. They're using them as a political constituency because I know a lot of people like to say illegals can't vote. Well, they can in California. And the thing is, just because they came over here illegally, they're not going to be illegal, undocumented aliens forever, which is what the Democrats are planning for. This is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. So they just keep saying this over and over and over till you get inundated, until you get desensitized to them just constantly displacing you with immigrants. The next thing you know, your neighborhood goes from being 47% black to 17% black, i.e. Oakland. But you're supposed to just say, oh, well, this is a nation of immigrants. And that's what happened, right? And no one asked this, right? How were some immigrants who were allegedly poor and fleeing gang violence, how could they suddenly afford to live in the most expensive state in the country? So they couldn't make your dollar goes further in Mexico, right? So they couldn't make it in Tijuana, but somehow they could make it in Oakland or San Francisco, which is exponentially more expensive than living in Mexico, right? This is not pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. They're being helped, given government assistance. And the assistance is not from the government, it's from NGOs. But the NGOs are getting money from, you guessed it, the government. Right now, if you have $2 in your pocket and you say, you know what, I want to start a better life. I'm in Oakland. I want to start a better life. I'm probably going to go across the country, maybe Wyoming, maybe Utah, maybe Boston. Would anyone advise that? They'll be like, bruh, you finna go across the country with $2 in your pocket? That's stupid, bro. What are you doing? But suddenly we're championing and cheering people on to cross the Rio Grande and cross the border illegally with allegedly $2 in their pocket. How does that make sense? Okay, fine. How did you get here with $2, right? Because it wasn't just you. You allegedly had $2, but you also had 3 kids and you had a baby in the oven. Does that sound smart to you? No, but it is smart to come into a different country that's not yours, where many of you don't speak the language. What is smart about that, right? They were just seeking a better life. Well, so was the dude who was selling a couple little bags on the corner. He wasn't doing it just because he loved being a dealer. He was doing it to get money so he could seek a better life. Get a job. Well, you didn't want to hire him. And then in California, they saying you got to be bilingual, which is discriminating against. And then even when you are bilingual, they just put the bilingual as a barrier. Then even when you are bilingual, you still won't get the job. And then if you get the job, you're a token. And they're saying all sorts of stuff, laughing behind your back, and you just got to take it. And then when they say that, hey, this person is being disruptive, you're going to have to answer to a Mexican boss and then a Mexican general manager and a Mexican regional manager, right? And it's like, hey, this is a nation of immigrants, you know what I mean? So unfortunately, both parties support open borders because they've used it to replace and displace us. And not only that, the white community is not having births at replacement level. So many of these so-called Hispanics, there's no race called Latino and there's no race called Hispanic. Many of them will be folded over into whiteness like they originally were. Mexicans were always considered white, you know what I mean? And just like the Italians and Irish, they weren't considered white until they were. Greek people weren't considered white until they were. Right now, until 2030, All Palestinians are classified as white. Lebanese people, white. Syrians, white. Egyptians, white. There's no race called Egyptian. So this is how they will replenish their birth rates. They'll have a bunch of these Latinos, white Latinos, pop out babies. So then they can say, hey, look, we're still the majority in the country. And then even the ones that identify as Latino, they practice blancamiento mejoró la raza. Look at Telemundo, look at Univision, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Cameron Diaz, right? Y'all know who Cameron Diaz is. She's Latina. Okay. Yeah, a white Latina, right? Nick Fuentes is Latino, a white Latino. Do y'all know who David Pacman is? He's Argentinian, a white Latino. So that's pretty much what it's going to be. You know what I mean? So it's like a win-win for them. The ones that identify as Latino, they're like, oh yeah, but he's white. He has a mindset of Nick Fuentes. And then the ones that say, no, yeah, I'm Latino, but I'm white. Then they say, good. So now we can maintain our numbers in terms of being the dominant society on paper, allegedly. Let's get back into it.
Done. We know what his views are. A microphone and a camera is the most dangerous weapon in the world. You can't put the toothpaste back in a tube. I guess
I will agree that the microphone and a camera is a very effective weapon, because I know a lot of people try to talk about how the rap music turned, a lot of culture degenerate, but I would say these content creators are way worse, right? Let's say it's a CD, right? A CD, I'm just throwing some arbitrary numbers. A CD may have 15 songs on it, right? Most people, they skip through certain songs. You can say, hey, I didn't like the CD, throw the CD out and never listen to it again. However, these content creation episodes, a lot of people are making content daily. They're doing these long drawn out panels where they're talking about black women ain't ish, black men ain't ish, F them kids, the black community is cooked, blase, but they're doing that daily for several hours. That's worse than listening to a CD of some debaucherous, degenerate stuff. So yeah, many of these content creators are way more coonish and way more toxic than any gangster drill rapper ever could be. Now, I'm going to just play a little bit more of this video and then I'm going to get ready to shut her down, just because I do got to step out. And also, I've been having some difficulty with my Wi-Fi at late night. Sometimes it does this just automatic maintenance where it just like reboots and restarts. And I don't want to have to hop and get on my phone or anything. But tomorrow I do have more time, so I'll hit y'all with a much earlier stream. But I'm going to just play a little bit more of this video because y'all can kind of see where this is going. It's, MAGA bad. Actually, let me fast forward a little bit.
Loudly and proudly said that all lives matter and then walked it back, just basically are side-eyeing this situation even more. And it doesn't help that it comes on the heels of Chili reposting a debunked conspiracy theory about my forever FLOTUS, Michelle Obama. But Chili took to the streets of social media saying that she mistakenly reposted the video about Michelle Obama, and she had no idea that she reposted said video until she was alerted by friends and family via text messages and phone calls. Now, I'm not one to bring up Black history, but some others did. And they also recalled back in 2017 when Chili loudly and proudly said that all lives matter and then walked it back, just basically saying, hey, I support and love everyone. In a statement posted on her Instagram account, Chili proclaimed that she is not MAGA, she does not support harmful policies, and she has learned quite a bit from this ordeal. She's also asking for grace as she moves forward from this. Meanwhile, TLC is preparing to go on tour with En Vogue and Salt and Pepper, and I'm sure that this is not going to help ticket sales. Friends, I want to hear from you because Chili said that she is not MAGA, despite the fact that she accidentally reposted a conspiracy theory video about Michelle Obama. She unintentionally donated $1,000 to political groups that support Donald Trump, and her digital footprint is telling a very different story. Are you pulling up to the concert?
TLC's base is primarily Black women. 92% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris. That means 92% of Black women voted against Donald Trump. Are you trying to tell me she's part of the 8% that voted for him? That feels like a different type of betrayal. That feels very personal to me. In this time that we live in, at least.
So if you don't vote Democrat, now they're saying that's a betrayal. But no, it's a betrayal for you to vote Democrat. Biden looked you in your eyes and said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. If he had looked Jewish people in the eyes and said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Jewish. If you don't vote for me, you ain't Asian. Hey, Billy Bob, you changed your name to Barbara Sue. If you don't vote for me, you ain't trans. What would have happened? They would have demanded that he's pull out, end his career. But no, you had a bunch of broken boule and brain dead bimbos and bozos that were saying, man, y'all gonna get Trump, the orange man, bad. So what if Biden disrespected you? The lesser of two evils. Okay. One is a super-sized double-decker shit sandwich, and another one is some gourmet vomit soup with sprinkled flies. The lesser of what? The lesser of two disgusting dishes? The lesser of two evils? No, why are these even an option? Why are you pretending there's no other option that I have to choose this? So this whole thing where if you don't vote Democrat, that's a betrayal. No, you're betraying the community by leaning heavily and shilling so hard for a party that hates you. A party that is actively replacing and displacing you as a constituency. But these people don't care because they're paid to be part of the broken, brain dead misleadership class. So they don't mind misleading the masses so that they can get some butter biscuit crumbs, a check, and a rub on the head and maybe the tummy. So they don't mind selling people out because it's lucrative for them. The community loses, but it's lucrative for them. And it should mainly be Black women calling out these specific ilk, the Carrie Champions and the Jamel Hills. Now, as the community, we can call them out. You know, it's not gender or sex specific on how you need to call them out. But I think it would just be appropriate if, you know, the on-code women check these off-code women and the on-code men check the off-code men. So then since the code and the agenda is the leader, then we'll come together and, you know, we'll cultivate a, you know, a new nation, a new standard, you know, going forward. And that won't be no vote blue no matter who. No, these parties are supposed to do quid pro quo. They're supposed to be vying for your vote. It's not supposed to just be like, hey, vote for this person because the other party is racist. Both parties are racist. If Donald Trump said, I hate you niggers, but since I'm so tired of you niggers, I'm going to give you lineage-based cash reparations, I'll be like, hey, go ahead. I'll say that he was a better president than Obama. I don't want to hear Obama run around saying, yes, we can. And then you ask him something about Black people. No, we can't. I ain't the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. So why are we trying to tout this goofy ass, moist nigga as some Black person? No, he's a tether, a biracial Kenyan American. Let's just call him that. That's as accurate as possible. And he said he's not the president of Black America. So why are we trying to just praise him? All Americans should be praising him, right? He doesn't want to do anything exclusively for us. So why should we be exclusively praising him? He went in front of a bunch of Black men wagging his little moist finger talking about we didn't want to vote for Kamala because, you know, of misogyny and we don't like Black women. Like, nigga, huh? Like, bro, you better miss me with that.
For me and morally and how I lean, that means you and I are not the same. That video she put together, it felt like she was lying.
I think she was. What I don't like about it is if you're going to stand on it, stand on it. To me, it says everything about what you voted for or what you support. The fact that you can't even say the shit publicly. That should tell you everything about what you have done. Just deal with the fallout as opposed to insulting everybody's intelligence.
Why do they both have this blonde hair? Nothing against it. I know some sisters look good with the blonde hair, but like, who are you trying to be? Because some sisters be trying to say that, like, hey, Becky and Karen is trying to look like me. So why are you trying to look like Karen? Karen Isha.
Try to pretend like what we see is something that ain't obvious.
And what's so crazy is, compared to like Michelle Obama, Chili is a past her prime, damn near nobody today. A lot of people don't even know who she is, of course, unless you was.
Michelle Obama isn't past her prime. And if Chili is a nobody, bro, why are you even talking about her? She's a nobody, but they're going on a tour talking about how there's nobody betrayed the black community. Huh? And not only that, Chili is a swirler, so she likes, she likes mayo milkshakes, you know what I mean? And tuna casserole and potato salad with raisins. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? So she's a swirler, let her go swirl it up, you know what I mean? But to try to pretend as if she betrayed the black community, no, you just said she was a nobody. So nobody was really checking for Chili until y'all, try to shame and read her for filth. But notice they're not reading any Democrats for filth. Black MAGA conservatives, black MAGA conservatives. Okay. They have blue MAGA, just like how they have QAnon, they have blue Anon. Both parties are the same. You think these liberal lunatics support any black issues? They don't. All they do is use black people. Oh, look, black people are really going through trials and tribulations, so we'll use their pain and plight to give resources to non-citizens.
Born in my era, and she's going to go out of her way to diss one of the most beloved women in the country, not just the country, but the world. Michelle Obama is loved across the world, and that's mainly because her husband is loved across the globe. Man, I've heard multiple Thai women and some men even say, why is Trump even the president? How come they can't bring Barack Obama back? And they tell me, they said, man, I liked him. Now she's apologizing to everybody, doing her apology tour. No.
Now, I don't agree with the apology tour. Stand on what you saying, say what you mean, and mean what you say. Luke says his favorite saying was he needed the backing of Congress. And Trump is in there running amok, doing whatever he wants. I don't like what Trump is doing, but however, he's showing you how to yield and wield power. Biden, the stumbling, bumbling, bigot and buffoon, was over there saying, I don't want to do nothing that Congress is just going to come in and overturn. So he was whining, saying he didn't want to do executive orders. Then he signed hundreds of executive orders. None of them that helped us, and we've been joined by Chocolate Glow, Lex in the building. Yeah, you super late. I'm only going to play like a few more minutes and then I'm going to get up out of here. I was trying to shut her down like 15 minutes ago, but the chat has been chatting, so I'm rocking with y'all, but I do appreciate you. So let's get back into it. And Ricky Williams coming in hot. Like he said, Chili looks manly like Michelle Obama. And that's what she was trying to make reference to. They both look manly. TLC, when they came out, was promoting that manly woman image. Unfortunately, yeah, you're right about that. They had like the jeans, the sagging pants. They did at least promote having safe sexual intercourse. Remember, they always used to be having condoms and all this stuff. So I did at least like that. But yeah, they were promoting a lot of the manly stud-ish type of stuff. And then some women were saying, well, why dudes talking to me like that or approaching me like that? Well, you're not looking extremely dainty and demure. You're looking kind of like a thuggish stud. So, if a nigga be like, hey, bitch, what's cracking? Don't talk to me like that. It's like, oh, my bad, bitch. I thought that's what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, people probably shouldn't be coming at you like that. But then, Like Dave Chappelle said, right? If you dress like a police officer and then someone runs up to you, officer, could you help me stop crime? Like, I'm not a, what you mean? I'm not a cop. Oh, my bad. I thought you were a cop. You're dressed like a cop. So no one should disrespect you, just based on reasons. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a security guard outfit, but you're really a teacher, or you think someone's going to ask you for a math answer, or are they going to ask you to secure the facilities, right? So if these chicks are over here looking manly, slutty, that's how people are going to approach you. Whether it's right or wrong, it's just reality. You're doing a slut walk, somebody might violate you rhetorically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, but then you're also violating yourself. So, you have some level of culpability as well. However, you shouldn't be abused, just because someone's obnoxious and can't control themselves. So let me fast forward a little bit, and then I'm going to get ready to shut her down because I don't know how much more of this Democrat shillery I could stomach.
If you look at who's getting the brunt of this right now, it is Chile. If you look at who bore the weight of all the Epstein debacles, it was women. It
And like Ricky says, that's simple common sense. They teach you that when you become a security officer, that you may sometimes be mistaken for a police officer. And that's the same thing too. If you walking around with your cheeks out and your tatas out, somebody may mistake you for a hoe. Now, that's wrong for them to assume and presume, but I mean, the cheeks is out. If I see a hoe on the blade on E14, and then I see you walking around Walmart wearing that same uniform as the hoe, I mean, I'm making a educated guess that you may be with the promiscuous activities. Let's just call it that.
is Ghislaine Maxwell and then Hillary Clinton. Like, women always get it the hardest, and it seems disingenuous to me. Like, the people who are right, Nick ain't saying nothing.
And he's not really catching a lot of heat either.
He's catching a lot of heat, but
not as much as Chile.
No, of course not. Because women always get it the worst.
And let me tell you.
Here we go again. Women get it the worst. Like, what the fuck is this moist, goofy nigga talking about? Nothing is happening to these people. All they're doing is getting talked about. But these people are celebrities and public figures. They get talked about for life. Many of these people want to get talked about. They say all publicity is good publicity. Like I read off earlier, people have an inherent negativity bias. So most of the times negativity drives your brand. It helps make you more polarized than even positivity, right? I'm sure Nick has done some positive things. No one cares because they want to attach to his, what they perceived as being negative. So this whole thing to pretend as if these women are victims and all this stuff, it's like, come on, man, just give me a break, bruh. Like I said, this Democrat shillery is nauseating.
It is. There's a reason why you'll see a whole lot of people on the internet talking like a Nick Cannon, talking like a Chili. And that's because they remain anonymous, because they're nobodies on the internet. So you'll see a lot of them saying this kind of crazy, dumb stuff on the internet. But if they were somebody, I mean, like if they had a real big name, like a Nick Cannon, like a Ice Cube, they'll be much more reluctant to say those things that they can say hiding on a keyboard or hiding behind a keyboard, because they know they can say whatever they want to say on the internet and they remain anonymous. And don't get fooled by some of these people that you.
But Dante, you remain anonymous as well, and you're saying some of the same things. It's just you're saying it from a pro-Democrat perspective, right? Now, I'm not saying I disagreed with what Nick Cannon was saying and what Amber Rose was saying, but you're over here trying to attack him as Black MAGA and stuff, but he doesn't attack the blue MAGA though, which are the Democrats. So that's what I can't support, right? I haven't seen him make one video. He calls Trump a Nazi, right? But meanwhile, Biden actually eulogized the anti-black Nazi, right? Strom Thurmond was his mentor and one of his best buddies, who was a vile, grotesque anti-black bigot. Is Dante gonna talk about that? Will D.L. Hughley talk about that? Then they'll talk about it, which I haven't heard them, but if they did talk about it, it will be a short segment, and then they'll say, yeah, but Trump is worse, so vote blue no matter who. It's like, come on, bruh. You got to do better than this. Stop being so feckless and pathetic when it comes to this political party, right? Neither party is coming to save you. The Democrats hate you. The Republicans hate you. The Democrats hate you even more than the Republicans. The Democrats said, F you niggas, we're bringing in a new constituency so we don't have to be beholden to y'all. We'll use you guys as symbolic figures, as gestures. We'll use your pain and plight to give things to other groups, because we're the only other group that's truly aggrieved, which is why they'll say we're only 13% allegedly of the population. So that's why we can't do anything for you, right? They'll act as if we have no political power, no infrastructure to do anything. Okay, fine. So that means we need to just pull out of all of this entire system and figure out how we can leverage our votes and get some political power. But then they say, no, don't send it out. Vote for your own demise. And then once they don't need your vote anymore for gerrymandering, or they displace you as a constituency, then they blame you. Well, it's what you voted for. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah. And people need to be getting ready to groom and run their own candidates, right? Stop looking for some candidate that's bought and paid for by the DNC and the corporate oligarchy to come and save you. They're beholden to the establishment, and the establishment doesn't give a flying flip about you. So I'm going to play a little bit more and then I'm going to shut her down.
Instagram, Twitter and Instagram been out for 20 motherfucking years. Now you don't know what you're doing?
Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button. And I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other.
First of all, you wasn't on no goddamn computer. You was on your phone, bitch. It's some bullshit. I know Left Eye should get out her grave and whoop your ass.
And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost.
So just look how they talking to her. Like I said, this ain't the cake for Chili. Chili, let her a white zaddy cake for her. But you see how disrespectful they get when they're talking to people who don't toe the political line and kowtow to the Democrats like that. Yeah, I can't really respect, right? Because as much as people will try to say, hey, y'all need to get off the Democrat plantation, many people are trying to get you to go to the Republican plantation. And then there's some on the Democrat plantation that says, we are not leaving this plantation because the Republican plantation is so racist. But it's like, how about you get off the plantation in general? You don't have to be on a plantation. And this is how they got you in this binary thinking. It's only two parties. Actually, it's not. And then they say, oh, well, it's only two viable parties. Yeah, well, if you just keep voting for the same parties over and over, how could another one become viable, right? You know that you have other options, but you self-limit yourself to two options. And they say, oh, a vote for Jill Stein or a vote for Libertarian is a vote for Trump. No, it's not. It's a vote for the Libertarian pizza, for the Libertarian Party, excuse me. Now, if there's an option, right? If they have an option of a burger, a chicken sandwich, and a slice of pizza, and you choose the slice of pizza, and they say, by you choosing a slice of pizza, you really chose the cheeseburger. Huh? I chose a slice of pizza, not a cheeseburger. And that's what they do. Trump, Kamala, Libertarian, Green Party. All right, I'm going to vote Green Party. That was a vote for Trump. How? It was a vote for Green Party. I seen Donald Trump's name and said, no, I'm not voting for him. By not voting for the Dems, you voted for Trump. It just gets super goofy and messy, right? But unfortunately, many of the vote blue, no matter who, brain dead bozos, they keep trying to mislead the black community as if the Democrats are your allies or your friends. No, they hate you. They hate you more than the Republicans do. Right. And many people hate themselves, which is why they continue to try to vote themselves, out of this miserable situation, right? So I'm gonna get ready to shut her down. This has been a fruitful stream, I believe. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. And also, I didn't even see you sneak in here. We got the big block boat rider, Mr. 350 Rocket himself. Big Rig Slaps in the building. So then we got this other person. First of all, I don't know who you're talking to, Daryl. So I'm going to assume that you're talking to me. But let me, you know what I mean? Clarify who you're talking to first, Daryl McClure. But Daryl McClure, this is bad on your part. This is not a scholarly comment. It says, "You're a fool." That's not how you spell "you're." It's YOU apostrophe RE. So you can't call somebody a fool when you can't spell. Have you heard of Hooked on Phonics? Did it work for you? If not, let me know. Hey, could y'all put a little some, and maybe I'll help Daryl McClure get hooked on phonics. How don't you know how to spell "your" and you calling somebody? Yeah, you are your. If you don't put "your," you could have put "you are a fool." Instead, you just put "you're a fool." This is a pretty foolish and pathetic comment. Hey, Daryl, hold on, bruh. I gotta hit you.
Hope, please.
Nigga, please.
Hope. Nigga, what?
Nigga.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
So I'm gonna give you a moment to clarify yourself. Otherwise, Daryl McClure, I might have to get you up out of here. Not because I'm on censorship, just because if you're leaving foolish, idiotic comments and you're not here to stand on it, yeah. Come on, Daryl McClure. Hey, I ain't even trying to cook him, man. It's late night. I'm trying to get up out of here. But Goof Troop, yeah, bro, came in hot, like talking a lot of stuff, man. You're a fool. And it's like you can't even spell, bro. Did you graduate, Daryl McClure? Yeah. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. I was trying to celebrate that I got 900 subs. I am trying to reach the goal of 1,000, so it won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. Share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Most of my streams are impromptu. I definitely will be hitting y'all with another one tomorrow. I'm in California, the Bay Area, the infamous. It's almost 11:30 over here. So I know many of my East Coast family, and I got fam in the UK, Canada, other parts. I know the time difference is, ahead over there, but I do sincerely appreciate y'all taking time to rock out with me. And Ricky says it's two major parties and there's by yourself, and I prefer to be by myself. That's what they've done to the black race, and I don't mind being by myself. And this is what I'm saying. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And many of us are, you know what I mean? What you call hell, I'll call home. I'm in Hell's Kitchen with an apron and a hairnet. You know what I mean? So mutual aid. I'm going to do a whole stream and I'm going to dedicate it to mutual aid and how we can build and operate and enrich ourselves outside of the political apparatus. It's many things that you can do simply, but if you aren't doing it, I don't want to hear you complain, right? If you're not willing to babysit someone's kids. You're not willing to mentor someone's kids. You're not willing to skill share. Hey, I know Big Rig, you know how to turn a wrench. Okay, cool. I'll bring 3 young boys over there. Help them, show them how to change a tire, show them how to do an oil change. You're just overseeing them. Let them do it. Hey, look, this is what you got to do. Simple things like that. Hey, teach these kids how to STEM. You're an engineer, you know a bunch of these kids are artists, bring them over there and give them studio time for free. Nobody was doing that for you when you was a kid. So be the change that you want to see. You would have loved if there was somebody when you were 17 and you want to fix your car and somebody could help you with some mechanic skills. So now when they get older, they going to be able to, you know, they say each one teach one. That's outdated. Y'all heard it from me. I say each can teach 10. Teaching one is obsolete. You have much more acumen than to just teach one. How about you teach 10? And mind you, I said each can teach 10. But remember, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. We only talking about the kin, right? And Ricky said, don't be a waste of space, Daryl. Yeah, Daryl already proved to be a waste of space. And Daryl, I don't know. You know what? I was about to go dark. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna try to keep it mild. But yeah, see, Daryl, you leave these little cheesy comments and then, you know, you go mute. You know what I mean? Don't be a coward, bruh. And Big Rick says, I gave free studio time to the homies. I engineered they mofo and I put in work. We do things like that. Yeah. Now there's going to be times where it's like, hey, look, I've been giving away a lot of free services, so you got to get your bag. However, if you see some young up and comer whippersnappers, you feel me? Wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac, how about you put them on? Otherwise, it's going to be some person with a tiny hat that comes and sees them and puts them on and puts them in a backwards 360 deal. Why you didn't take them under your wing and show them the ropes, right? You're supposed to be an OG or a triple OG, but you're not giving these youth anything to respect. You feel me? If your OGs failed you, then you need to do what your OGs didn't do, so you can actually be something that, you know, your ancestors, your parents, your community could be proud of. You know what I mean? Instead, you just be like, man, F them kids. Okay, fine. I know it's a funny and it's a joke, but when you say F them kids and then they rob you, like Big Riggs would say, once they rob your monkey ass, then I really don't want to hear it. You said F them kids and they said F you and they pressed you. It is what it is. So that's the stream. I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I'm going to play a series of some visuals. Hopefully y'all stick around to the end. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. And also, if you want to make a contribution, I told you the likes are free. However, if you're feeling generous and you want to make a financial contribution, you can hit your boy on the Cash App.
If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and smash that. If you're feeling generous, then you can hit the Cash App. $Easy Stack. It's easy to remember. All them donations that you contribute make it feel like it's the 25th of December. Hit the Cash App. It's preferred over Super Chat because YouTube takes 30% off the top, and that's stupid whack. So if you want to see growth and watch the content get greater, send a Cash App to B-Eazy, that dude.
Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy, that dude. Shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. It's a
Spitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on Chirac and then fly back out to Milwaukee. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the drawer is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude, yeah, they know the name. Big Glock, B-Eazy that dude.
You ain't know. Let's just be easy. Ay, ay. Let's just be easy. That dude, be easy. Is that dude? You hear me? You feel me? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Be easy, that dude. Yeah. Be easy. Be easy. Tell me how it feel. Ooh, tell me how it feel to be real, to be real, to be really that dude. Be easy, that dude. Ay, 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 that dude. Be easy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. That dude, be easy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. Be easy, he is that dude. Ooh, 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 he is that dude.
If you feel the vibe, like, share, and subscribe. We growing on this journey. Come and take a ride. If you wanna slide with that dude, be easy. We going all the way to the top, believe me. All the way to the top, believe me.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Follow. Be easy. You know you want to.
We're waiting. Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.